Do you recognize this place? This is where Agnetha was ice skating for one of the many music videos she did to promote her album Eyes of a Woman all the way back in 1985. This is 40 years later, and today we dive into this unique solo album by Agnetha, the songs, and Agnetha's artistry with Eyes of a Woman. Hey! So, Eyes of a Woman was produced by Eric Stewart and became Agnetha's second solo album in English.
We met this group, 10cc, a long time ago when we were touring with the group ABBA. And then we were looking for a good producer. And I think it was Thomas Johansson, our tour manager, that mentioned Eric Stewart. And I thought that was a great idea. And we've been working very well together, I must say.
She described him as very calm and a pleasant partner to work with. Eric Stewart brought his own studio musicians from England to Sweden, including members from 10cc, Rick Fenn on guitar and Vic Emerson on keyboards and synthesizers. But we also have ABBA's ingenious bass player Rutger Gunnarsson, who was in fact, as so very often, heavily involved in the arrangement for the album. Agnetha herself was also actively involved in the production of the album from the beginning to the end of the sessions. Agnetha, Rutger Gunnarsson and Eric Stewart worked closely with the album's engineer Paris Edvinson, who also co-wrote the title song. ABBA's sound engineer Michael Bidretov mixed 2 of the songs from the album. Eyes of a Woman is described as sounding more rocky and harder. And there is also one special ingredient to the overall soundscape, the backing vocals. Those were not only provided by Agnetha and Eric Stewart themselves, but by Swedish singer Marianne Flinner, who co-wrote the title song. But the album is sonically colored, especially prominently, by none other than Karin and Anders Glenmark, the duo that became Gemini, which we just talked about last time. They were so responsible for the backing choir on Björn and Benny's concert album for the musical Chess, and now for Eyes of a Woman, they once again really defined the sound on quite a few songs. So what about those songs? In the summer of 1984, Agnetha and Eric Stewart listened individually to 400 demos that were sent in from different composers and publishers. Agnetha explained that she chose her favorites, Eric chose his, and if they matched, they decided to use the songs. She describes most songs as sentimental and expressive. And we have to dive into this album now, track by track. One Way Love was written by Jeff Lynne. I love this song, what a great opening. I love the high double track voice self-harmonizing in the chorus, and I really enjoy the extended version of that song. It's even greater. There is a very clear backing vocals and the piano is more prominent on this one. Eyes of a Woman is the title track. As the second song, this sequence is so great. This is another song that I really love. It has this beautiful fading synth intro and such a great atmosphere. The lyrics, sounds and production, and Agnetha's delivering her singing. Eyes of a Woman is such a wholesome song. And once again, it has wonderful second and third overlapping backing harmonies at the end of the song. Just One Heart is really pure nostalgic for me. You have to know that the first time I was encountered with the ladies' solo material was with this CD, The Voice of ABBA from 1994, and as well as with Agnetha's That's Me, The Greatest Hits. Those 2 albums are quite important when it comes to reflecting on the solo albums and some of the songs. It was in my very early years, and this CD has 14 songs, 7 from Agnetha, 7 from Frida, changing every track. And there are some deep cuts on this one, which I didn't know back then. I just listened to this, was my first encounter of the ladies' solo songs, and I really enjoyed those tracks, and Just One Heart was one of them. So whenever I listen to that song, my heart gets so warm. It's with this song, my heart melts away. I love the intro, I love the verse, the chorus, the rhythm of the song, and especially Agnetha's beautiful high singing, as well as there's a very subtle, very tasteful steel drum on this song. Just one heart. I really like that. I Won't Let You Go is a favorite from Agnetha herself. It was co-written by Agnetha.
I wrote the music, but it's very hard for me to write English lyrics. So I write them in English, but I don't think they are good enough myself. So I asked Eric to write the lyrics, and I think they turned out very well.
This was one of the two songs mixed by Michael Bitretov. It's described as a good song with a very strong melody and great vocal. Personally, I think it's a good composition. It's catchy enough, but I'm not so sure about the heavy production. There is something about it that feels not quite right. Maybe it's the drums, maybe it's the heavy reverb. There is a small fraction of a live version of this song, which Agnetha sang in the same year, 1985, on Gästhaus Hagge. She also performed quite an unplugged live version of The Heat Is On and of 3 of her early songs. But listening especially to those two 80s solo songs live, kind of unplugged, is a very nice pleasure to listen to and brings forward the composition itself. When the single was released, it was a real nice surprise for all Agnetha fans. 2 songs were written by Agnetha and Eric Stewart, the B-side, You're There, which we will talk about later. And there's also a 12-inch which contains an extended remix of I Won't Let You Go. The single was a hit in Sweden and reached number 6 for 8 weeks. The Angels Cry, this song is sublime. It's one of my personal favorites. It's just such a beautiful song by Agnetha, and this is the second one mixed by Michael Bitretov. Click Track is another personal highlight. I really enjoy this album. This track has such a cool, fast-driven track, and it has a gorgeous delivery by Agnetha. It's so different altogether. The song, the singing, great track. We Should Be Together is nostalgia again. Was on the voice of ABBA. I just love this track. I Won't Be Leaving You. Here's a very, very strange story. So, for the longest time, this song and most of the remaining songs of the album never quite worked for me. And here comes this very strange story. It's my Jönköping story. Not so long ago, I was on my way to Jönköping to see for the very first time the place where Agnetha grew up, Agnetha's childhood place. So I was traveling there, I was sitting in the train, and for whatever reason, I just wanted to listen to Eyes of a Woman, to the album. And on that train ride to Jönköping for the very first time ever, for whatever reason, really, I genuinely enjoyed every single track of the album. I fell in love with the entire album. And you will not believe, when I was in Jönköping, which album I found in the record store on CD from the 80s. It was Eyes of a Woman. So I Won't Be Leaving You is one of those songs that kind of, I can't even say grew on me, because it suddenly hit me that this song and the next few ones are really enjoyable to me as well. I cannot really explain it because, as I said, those songs never really worked for me before, and just suddenly they did, and this is a beautiful song. Save Me, Why Don't Ya? What a cool track. It's once again completely different. It's dramatic, and it has this great choir, Gemini. And just a few months ago, an early mix of this song surfaced on the internet, This early mix doesn't have the backing choirs of the song yet. And that fraction was now uploaded on the great YouTube channel, Camelo. Check it out. The penultimate song is I Keep Turning Off Lights. This one is again, has these very dramatic, dark 80s vibes, and I think just such a catchy chorus. Be careful with this song, it may stuck in your head for a while. We Move as One has always been the perfect and a great closing song. To me, beautiful, really epic, and again with these gorgeous Gemini backing vocals. So, as you see, my overall impression of this album and my feeling with it turns out to be much more positive than I ever thought it would be. But we have to talk about 4 more songs that were recorded around the time of this album or following the release of it. You're There, what a song. This one is pure beauty. Was co-written by Agnetha. In my personal opinion, one of the standout highlights, one of the greatest recordings and songs in Agnetha's entire solo career. The song, the lyrics, the atmosphere, Agnetha singing. How is it possible that this was only ever released as a non-album single B-side? What a gorgeous piece of music. You're There. It's pure beauty, as I said. Everything for me on this recording is perfect. It doesn't get better than this. Another B-side was the song Turn the World Around. Another great track. Gorgeous lead vocal by Agnetha. And the vibe on this song is, for me, so strong. It has great synthesizers. I love the repetitive nature of this track. And on this album, on this compilation, That's Me, the greatest hits, there's a slight alternate mix of the song, which comes with an extended intro, which has more of that gorgeous synthesizer line. And generally on this album you will find a few rare and unreleased versions of songs, of solo songs from Agnetha, rare alternate mixes that appeared here for the very first time, for whatever reasons. And then there's the 1986 single The Way You Are and Fly Like the Eagle, 2 duets with Ola Håkansson. The song The Way You Are, or both songs, promoted Sweden as a candidate for the Olympic Winter Games in Falun in 1992. And The Way You Are became a big hit in Sweden and Europe. In Sweden it stayed on number 1 for 6 weeks. Fly Like the Eagle, the B-side, I adore this song. I always loved it. It has those pure 80s vibes. Those are so strong with this, but it's so good. It's a really catchy track. And there are 4 alternate versions of The Way You Are, and 2 alternate mixes of Fly Like the Eagle, one from a TV performance with cold ending, and one from That's Me, the greatest hits. We also really have to talk about the TV special A for Agnetha. I said it before, this is definitely one of the very best TV specials related to ABBA and the members of ABBA. This is one of my absolute favorites. A for Agnetha is a 30-minute program created by Agnetha to promote the album, and as Sarah Russell so nicely points out, it also kind of promotes Stockholm itself, the beauty of that place. Agnetha filmed 6 music videos for the show, especially for some deep cuts of the album. Those videos were done for the songs One Way Love, Just One Heart, We Should Be Together, I Won't Let You Go, Click Track, and the closing song We Move as One. Agnetha is narrating throughout the program. We see her nostalgically reflecting, telling stories about herself, her career and life as an artist and singer. She narrates it in Swedish and in English for international broadcast. You can find the entire show here on YouTube. Agnetha herself was fascinated by the TV special itself, and together with her appearance as an actress in the film Raskenstam, enjoyed this one very much. Eyes of a Woman reached number 2 in Sweden, Agnetha received gold records for the sales of her previous album Wrap Your Arms Around Me and Eyes of a Woman. Even Björn and Benny attended the ceremony. Congratulations to Agnetha's Eyes of a Woman and its 40th anniversary this year. So now it's up to you. What do you think of Eyes of a Woman? Which are your favorite songs from the album? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching this new video. Alright, until then, hey do!